Did he have a beard?
I don't remember too much.
And you told me once that your father went to see a rabbi or something.
Yeah. He went to see the rabbi in Przemyśl. There was a rabbi, a special rabbi, to find out from him, to ask him which business he should go in.
Yeah.
He could have gone into the grain business, or into the geese. So he advised him to go to the geese.
And this was when you were alive? You remember this, or you heard
this? No, this I heard, because this was before he got married, I guess, or maybe even as soon as he got married.
Right, because the mill would be...
Yeah.
But then they moved to Germany for like a year.
Yeah, well, that I don't know. This was before my time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever go to any other villages around Rudniki besides Mashiska?
I don't remember. Probably. I was a very independent boy. You know, I went up wherever nobody else went.
Mm-hmm. And who did you play? Did you play with anyone?
I played just with my cousins.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what did you go to school?
No, not yet.
But you said you went to Cheder.
Yeah, I was once or twice at Cheder, and then I said that's not for me.
And where was the Cheder?
In Moshiska.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And who was teaching the Cheder?
A little Jew with a beard and payas, a little rebel.
And the other kids?
Other kids were there too.
They also had payas?
Yeah, they had payas, but I didn't have payas.
You were the only kid there without payas?
I guess so. Also.
And what about your cousins? Did they go to there also?
No, they didn't go with me there, at least.
Did they go to school?
No.
So after that, did you go to a Polish school?
Yeah.
In Rudniki or Nashiska?
In Rudniki. Across the street from me. So there was a castle there. Remember I said in the picture? This was the school.
And did other Jewish kids go there also?
Just my cousins, I believe.
And Bala went there also?
Bala went to Moshiska. I don't remember if she went there before that, because maybe I was too young to remember.
And how long did you go to the school for?
For a few months.
Oh, that's it. And you learned Polish there?
Yeah.
Did you speak Polish at home?
Yes.
Nanny spoke Polish to you?
Yes.
And Nanny spoke Polish to Chaim Aaron also, or Yiddish?
Yiddish.
And your grandfather, you spoke Polish to your grandfather?
My grandfather, we spoke Jewish, Yiddish.
Did Nanny ever do laundry? Do you ever see her do laundry?
I guess so.
Outside?
Outside. But she had, I think, people coming to do the laundry.
And did you have meat at home? What did you eat?
Well, we had meat, we had the dairy stuff we ate. Meat, we had chickens, we had geese. I went to Moshiska, there was a shochet, and he was shechting the geese. And
you took your geese to the shochet?
Right.
And then Nanny would kosher it? Do you remember her kosher?
Yeah, she was putting salt on it.
And what?
How would you keep the food fresh?
Actually, we didn't have any ice, so it was. We had a place where it was cool, in the summertime. Wintertime there was no problem, but the summertime, so we kept in a cool place, a special pantry, like cool pantry.
And was it cold in the winter?
It was cold
in the house.
It was cold because we had only an oven, a special oven that for heat. That was using sawdust and we packed it with sawdust, and then you lit it up, and it was like overnight, always keeping hot.
Like a furnace.
Yeah.
And did you ever go to any stores in Moshiska? Were there any stores in Rudniki?
There was no stores in Rudniki.
So did you ever go to stores in Moshiska?
Yes.
What kind of stores?
I think Baruch took me to one of his cousins, or our cousins, that had a confectionery type store. So he always used to give me chocolate candy.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember this man who had the store?
Very vaguely, you know.
What do you remember of him?
He didn't have a beard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was modern, you know, modern.
And what other stores?
No modern store.
Mm-hmm. Were there people? Were there a lot of people in Mashiska walking around?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like a dressmaker, a tailor?
Probably yes. Well, I did not. I don't remember, you know.
Right.
Did your mother make your clothes, or she bought them?
She probably bought it.
Oh. And did you go to your great grandmother's house?
Yes, my grandmother's house, not great grandmother was Gerber.
Did you go to her house?
Yes, sure, always.
You went to her house.
Yeah, because she was living next to us. You know.
So what did you do there?
No, nothing. Just she was baking good stuff.
Like what?
Like Rogaler, she made excellent.
Chocolate or cinnamon?
Not cinnamon.
Okay. And your other grandmother, you remember her?
Yeah. I always. This was my father's mother.
Yeah. And what do you remember of her?
She was a very small lady and very orthodox. She had 2 kitchens, and she just was, you know, an angel, you know, didn't touch nothing special.
2 kitchens?
2 kitchens, milchig and fleischig. Very, very orthodox she was.
And what else do you remember of her?
Nothing. I came. She always was ready to feed me.
And
Did she tell you? Do you remember her telling you anything? Stories?
No.
And your grandfather?
My grandfather was. He had a beard, not a long one, but a short beard, and he always studied.
This was Singer.
Yeah.
This was Avram Abba.
I remember. So he always studied, and then he also went also to businesses. He had different kind of. Once he went to a business for Angora rabbits. You know rabbits, the Angora rabbits. So he bought a set of rabbits. And overnight he had a lot of them, and then he had to put them in the cages separate. I was there. I came to visit at that time.
Wow.
And then he couldn't handle it because every night there was more rabbits.
And Baruch and Wolf lived there also.
Yes.
So what did he do?
So later he gave it away. He called in his buddies, Christian people, and they took it away from him.
And he lived in a house.
Yeah.
With a yard.
With a backyard, yeah.
And a barn in the back.
Yeah, that's where he kept the rabbits.
But this was in Mashiska.
Yes.
Okay. So there was there was like a street or something? Or
Yeah, there was. There was. I think it was cobblestone street. Cobblestone street. There was no pavement yet. You know.
And was it near the synagogue where he lived?
Yeah, he was walking to the synagogue. It was maybe 2 blocks away.
Mm-hmm.
This was his synagogue.
Did you ever go with him there?
I went once with Simchas Torah. We went with my father and I in the evening. Mm-hmm. I was maybe 3 years old. Yeah. So I remember when they took me on my shoulder, on his shoulder, my father, and were dancing with me.
Did you get candy or anything?
Oh, yeah, candy.
Were there a lot of people there?
Yeah, for that crowd it was.
It was crowded.
Yeah. Everybody, when it was a holiday, there was always, the synagogues were full. There were 3 synagogues in the Samoshiska, and every one of them was full.
Do you remember Purim?
Yes, Purim usually I stayed home, and my mother had already her people that were coming to collect money, schleppers from Moshiska, because they were. So they always came, and one came was as a fiddle, and he was playing this for me. I cannot remember. I cannot forget this. So beautiful it was.
Something you knew or different?
No, it was new. The first time I heard the violin.
And he had a beard?
No. He was one of the poor people from Moshiska. Every time somebody else came.
Did you have a Purim soda? Like you sat around the table, you ate, and people came? Or?
No, but they came and they got they had a share, and then he gave it, and then they left.
Do you remember giving Mishloach Manas?
I don't remember that, but she always gave the Shalach Manas. Yeah.
So the shul, you had a shul next to your house.
Yes.
And that was your grandfather's shul.
Yes.
Your other Nassim David.
Yes.
Leibrock.
Yes.
And did you ever go inside that shul?
Always. Every Shabbos.
And how did it look? Did it have benches and chairs?
Yeah, benches and chairs.
Tables?
Tables, yeah.
And a Torah?
Torah. And my grandfather was always lining the Torah. He was about Phil and the Torah reader.
And your father was there also?
Yeah.
And Shulek?
And Shulek was father. People around that came from around the villages. So, we always had a minyan there, and we were praying. The house was next to a pond, a nice pond,
And one time you remember they threw the Gentiles through.
I forgot this, but they threw the Torah and the books, prayer books into the river, the lice.
And this was already when the Germans were there.
Either Germans or still the Russians, I don't remember.
And you remember seeing this?
Yeah.
And what happened then?
Nothing. They took it out and they dried it out. And then they used it again.
Right. We need to. All right, we're going to stop.